Okay, guys, I see many of you have joined. We'll resume. Uh, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Okay, right. So we're talking about logs, right? So these are the logs. The one which I was showing you, that was my operating system log system. That was my operating system event viewer tool, which was showing me multiple logs. Same logs we can have in Azure. We can have logs for events. What we are looking, those were events, hence it called event viewer. We can have logs for performance data. We can have logs for traces, etc. For any specific application, we can have it, right? Then what data can be configured for monitoring? Application monitoring data. What kind of data can be configured for monitoring? So application monitoring data, this includes the information about the performance and functionality of various application on different platform. So if you want to put monitoring for an application, you can do that as well. It's not necessary only for virtual machine, right? You can do it for application which is inside the virtual machine. You can do it for that also. That machine is okay, RAM is fine, but application is not responding, right? Maybe there's some issue with connectivity, there's some issue with code. It could be anything, but you can set up that monitoring also. Guest OS monitoring. This contains information about the operating system on which the application is running, which can be aggregated to Azure monitoring Windows event log performance, same which I told you now. Right? Then Azure tenant monitoring data. Information about services like Azure Active Directory, which is Microsoft Entra ID nowadays. So, information about services like Microsoft Entra ID, which operates on tenant level. Right? This contains history of sign-in activities and audit trail of change made. Right? Now, this one has nothing to do with your services. It works at the tenant level. If you have 10 subscriptions, right, or those 10 subscriptions may have different services, different things, but tenant is only one. So this one, Azure Tenant Monitoring Data, this works at the tenant level. Who new users have been created, new users have been deleted, etc. Right? So that is your tenant level monitoring, Azure Tenant Monitoring Data. Custom sources, Azure Monitor can also collect data from custom sources like REST clients. I explained API concept once. So REST clients is the REST API concept is the same. REST clients using data collector API that can be helpful when custom monitoring scenarios are presented to the users. If it is required, you can have custom monitoring data also. Okay, then we have this was under monitoring. Then we have insight. If you remember here, look at this. We have insight. This is the insight, right? Metrics, logs, insight. What is insight? VM insight. Insight, it's nothing. It's again a monitoring, but I can say it's the extra layer of monitoring or more detailed monitoring, right? So, as name suggests, insight. This is purely monitoring. This will give you the insight of that application or VM. So, in Insight, what do we have? We have VM Insight. This can monitor Azure VM health and performance of Windows, Linux, and analyze and uh, and the interdependence between various processes are identified. For example, it will monitor it in thorough manner, so detailed manner that even if you have one service, for example, this service or any service has dependency on some other service and that other service is not working properly, it will still share the alerts with you. It will share the insight with you that because of this, uh, it might not work. For example, again, if I go ahead with the same example which we used, uh, weather data. You created an application, but you do not have machinery all over the world from where you are fetching the data uh, of the climate, right? What is the temperature in this city, that city? So you're using some third-party machine, some third-party application using APIs. Now your server is working fine, RAM, CPU, etc. It is fine, right? Even your code, your application is working fine. When you send a request, there is no delay, there is no network latency in your request. Everything works fine. But when you get a response, when you try to connect to the API, maybe that API is not responding well, right? So Azure Insight, a VM Insight, Application Insight will give you that level of monitoring to avoid going your application down. So you can go ahead and check that what is the problem. If you want to raise it with the vendor, you can do it. If you want to check the connections, you can do that. Do whatever you want. But at least now you know that something is going to happen. So let's get started. Let's work on that. Then application insight, again, this performs availability, usage of variant web application hosted in cloud premises can be monitored. By the way, this monitoring, it's not only for cloud resources. You can all these features to for machines which are there on premises as well. Like replication, we can done it can be done for machines in on Azure, and also it can be done for machines uh, which are not on Azure. It could be AWS, GCP, or physical data center. Similarly, your monitoring. Not necessary, it has to be in Azure. Okay, but if for data center, it may not support all the features, but monitoring will be there. Then we have container insight. This can monitor the performance of workload and their deployed Kubernetes containers. So this one we are not going to see because we did not see anything related to DevOps, Azure Kubernetes, etc. Not in this training session, right? Uh, Under inside, you can see performance, logical disk performance, CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk IOPS, and latency. Right. So these are the and this is again old data. I'm sure we may have something new when I go to portal. We'll see if something is there. We are going to see that also. Right. Now, this is just an example. Look at this. How it monitors that this is one client, one virtual machine. This is the IP, right? This is connected to this particular machine, and in this machine, it is connecting to 27 processes. Uh, On 443, there are 14 processors, 14 servers. It is connecting to another 14 servers on port number 443. Okay. So if monitoring sees that 443 is not down or it is not working fine, it may give you error. Port 87 server. So this is the insight which you're getting. These are the dependency it has. So if anything out of this is failing, it will give you the alert. Diagnostic setting under, okay, we can leave this. Virtualizing data dashboard. Different types of data can be combined together using Azure Dashboard. So there's a feature called Azure Dashboard. What it does, it will pick up the data from other different subscriptions or different resources, different services, and different type of monitoring data. It can combine and it can give you the output of your monitoring, right? And it will also help you to run some queries. Queries as in, if you want to see that on so and so machine, machine A to machine A10, out of these machines, date so and so, what was the CPU utilization? Because you know, maybe you on these 10 machines, you did some patching. Now you know that you have installed this KB article on these machines on Thursday, and you wanted to see that from Thursday till today how these machines are performing. Based on that, you'll be deciding whether you want to go ahead with your remaining. Let's say if you have 1,000 servers, so with remaining 900 servers, right? Let's say these 100 servers. So these are only 10, so 990 servers. Whether you want to go ahead with that patching or not, right? So you can have dashboards also, and you can have queries also. Then we have workbook. Workbook reports that are visually rich and powerful in data analysis can be prepared using workbook. Data from multiple sources can be combined and unified in an interactive experience using workbooks. So dashboard and workbook little bit different. It's more advanced. Workbook gives you more granular access, more details. We're going to see this. And then again, Power BI, people who know it. Power BI, it's a software, it's an advanced version of Excel. You can export your data in Power BI also. You get to share reports, etc. We are going to see not Power BI, but we are going to see this. What kind of report do we see? What kind of report do we get? And then using Power BI, you can visualize them in proper manner. So if you have to share the data with your CFOs or higher management, they are not worried about click by click and inch by inch data, right? They are worried about numbers, percentage, that okay, these 100 servers earlier, uh, This data shows that earlier last month, as per the monitoring data, uh, this these servers were being underutilized, right? Only 50% of RAM, etc., was being utilized. Now we moved it to Azure. We went for a small size. We are saving money, and then this is the monitoring data for this month. Now look at this. This is using very moderate utilization, 60%. It is not even underutilizing. It is not even overutilizing. So this kind of report you can share in Power BI, which will have bullets, visuals, etc. And in that you can share with your upper management. Your upper management, your CFOs, etc., your clients, they're not interested in one by one click, right? To share reports with them, this is what you'll have to do. Okay. Then responses. Now it's fine. Monitoring to हमने कर ली, right? Monitoring is there. What about response? So then we have alerts. In Azure monitoring, alerts can be notified about critical condition and can start action to solve the issue. Alert based on metrics give real-time notification based on logs, can alert for complex logic between multiple resources. So now you know that something is wrong with this machine. Maybe CPU started lagging, it's not working, memory leaking, anything, right? Your monitoring system has picked it up. But what needs to be done after that? Obviously, very sensible thing will be alert. That it should send some alert to the relevant team, to DL, to individual, whatever email address we have given. It should start sending the alerts to them, to the relevant team, so relevant team can quickly come to the picture and see what has happened. This is how you prevent from a business loss. Right? Then action group. We need this to be alert. It could be IAM group or DL or phone number, etc. Same. We call that action group. Like we have security group, we have DL. It is they call it action group. That if something goes wrong, this email should go over there. Auto scaling, we have already seen. So what are the options after monitoring? That was we were discussing. What should be the response? मॉनिटरिंग कर ली मॉनिटरिंग में पता चल रहा है कि मेमोरी जो है इट्स ओवर यूटिलाइजिंग राइट सर्वर में शट डाउन CPU 95% has been utilized already. Server may shut down. So what are the options? One, we could select auto scaling that will automatically scale your computer, or we can set up alerts and action group, etc. So someone can manually come and check that. Integration and export. Azure Event Hub, it is, we can leave that. Logic tool, let's you do workflow. Fine. This is nothing that how you can integrate these reports and export them, similar to Power BI. Nothing extra. Got it? Log Analytics workspace. Now we have Azure Monitoring, right? We discussed Azure Monitoring. We discussed Insight. Then we have Log Analytics workspace. Log Analytics workspace we could use to we could use queries to get results and set alert based on that. Again, this is more advanced. It will give you more information on your monitoring. And the language which we use to this query this data that uh, last week or maybe from 18th of week to 20th of week, how many servers, what are the names, their operating system, etc. I want this kind of report. So what am I doing? I'm putting some filters. Where am I putting these filters? Where am I fetching that data? What language is it using? Is it SQL? What is it? So that is your KQL. So if anyone asks you, this most of the time comes as an interview question. Have you ever worked on KQL? That is your Custo Query Language. You can say, yes, it is a part of Azure monitoring. We have worked on that. We are going to see it. Don't worry. Right? So that is your Custo Query Language. Like we have Structure Query Language, SQL. This is KQL, right? It will allow you to fetch the data, put some conditions that I'm looking for servers which are only on 2008. I'm looking for servers which are only on this version, or I'm looking for servers whose owner is this person or this team. Right? You can put anything, whatever you want.
Oh, that
So
is
that,
nice, sir.
yeah. So that
I
is
mean,
your.
that's, yeah.
Sorry, you're saying something?
I said, I said that is that is nice, as in for you to be able to query your servers and query, write a query. It's a
Yes,
nice,
yes.
nice feature.
Yeah, you can write a query as well, and it gives you some pre-written queries as well. We are going to see that on the portal, right? So this is what it is, guys, in nutshell. Azure monitoring. We're not spending a lot of time on this. It is important. I'm not saying not important, but in interview you will see maybe two or three questions, not more than that. At the end, they will also keep 5 minutes for monitoring, right? Like for migration, for DR, for troubleshooting of a machine is not working, machine not turning on, right? For these issues, they will keep the major chunk of the interview. But for monitoring, little bit less here and there. Exceptions are always there, by the way. Right? Now, both diagnostic and QoS, guess we can leave this. So this is it, guys. This is your monitoring. Any doubts, any questions on theory part?
So for this, all these monitoring services, one has to understand it, Abby, as in along with the practicals too.
Yes, you'll have to understand this theory part. In practical, we are going to see, we'll see what all you need to know. But theory
Okay,
part, at least you should remember these
okay,
terms. If someone is talking about inside, you should know there's VM inside, there's application inside. If they ask you what is the difference between VM inside and application inside, you should know this is the difference. Read this and you should know what is the difference, right? And then if they
okay.
ask you about, uh, they can ask you about, let's say, workloads, right? Or anything, whatever we have discussed from here. If any questions is asked, you should at least have some fair idea about it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, let's go and have a look here. This is the portal. Very first thing I'll show you, will start with subscription. Monitoring is everywhere, guys. It is everywhere. It's not only related to machine, it is everywhere. Now, if I come to my this one subscription, now look at this. How do you think I'm getting this data? Right? Azure also doing some monitoring. They do it whether you request it or not. They have their own monitoring system and they are also doing it. With the help of monitoring only, I know that in this month, right? Uh, Date it will show somewhere here, current billing period. It will show from which date to which date it is showing the data, and the scope of subscription. So it is showing me the whole subscriptions data. That this month I spent 450 rupees where on this particular resource, 117 rupees on this particular resource. This is how my billing has been started. Right? It is increasing. How much am I paying? See, for what resources am I paying? Everything I get here in detail. And this I have not set up. This is by default I'm getting. Right? Now, once we are here, what all can we set up? Right? Cost analysis. Here we're not talking about any technical thing. No VM, nothing. But this is also monitoring. Right? I told you monitoring is not only technical. Now see, I want to know that who used my money much, right? Which application used it. So now here it can show me by service name, storage service used a lot of money. Then a virtual machine used it. Then virtual network used it, right? In terms of location. So I'm spending most of my amount in East US, right? Then East, then North, then West Central, then South Central, then East US again. So I'm spending a lot of amount on East US. Very important by resource group name. Here in training, if I want to see which one of you utilized more money and use the resources, it's simple. I don't have to go on one and check. It will give me, look at this AWS on-prem data center, Ansible, this resource group has utilized my money. ASR storage, temp, Windows, Muzammil, right? These resource group, they have utilized my money here. It has given the this one also, a breakup also. If you want, you can export these reports. Now By the way, not necessary. You can have this at the subscription level. I want to know exactly what is happening in Ansible. So I can click on that, and here under Ansible, it will give me the information, right? Or I can change the scope from here. Under subscription, I can either have the complete subscription, or under subscription, see, I can have both subscriptions as well. I can have one subscription, or under one subscription, I can have one particular resource group as well if I want. See, if I want to check this one, it is giving me cost management of this particular resource group, that which services this resource group has. Though I won't find much here, I don't have anything. A few files are kept there, nothing more than that. See, nothing to display because I'm already in a resource group. Storage, in this resource group, this much I have spent on storage, this much I have spent on this location. There's nothing much, hence I'm not getting much data, right? But you can set up that set it up, right? Now you can save it. You can save as PDF. You can share the direct link. Now if I share this link with you, you should be able to see it. So even if you have to share the data, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to draft emails, etc. See, it will directly take you to the sign in page. Now, because you guys don't have access to my this one, you will not be able to see it. But when you are sharing it with your client, obviously it is their subscription. They have access. You're sharing it with your manager. He has access, right? So if they ask you that I want to see the spending report of last month, you can come here and you can simply export it here, right? Cost alerts. Now this is something which is already set up. I didn't do it. Now I want to set up something, so I can set up cost alert. I can set up a new alert, add new alert, that for this subscription or for this resource group. Again, it is up to me. What do I select? Alert automatically, send the alert automatically when detected, right? Start from today, or I want to start it from maybe next week or whenever I want. What is this? Cost automatically detected in UT-Kloud subscription to subject line. It is up to you. You can change it, right? If you want to mention that cost above 500 detected. If you're setting this up for 500, right? Language, etc., you can select alert name, daily. See, and or if you want daily basis, you can do that. Once you set it up, you can select the parameters, then budget. Here you can add the budget. Hmm. So this is the billing type. This is it. Now, what can be the budget? Give me the budget amount threshold. It's, let's say, 5,000. So when it crosses 5,000, I will start getting alerts. Right? Alert condition, actual or forecasted. If I do forecasted, even it before it crosses 5,000, it will start sending me the email. If it is on 3,000, right, or let's say percentage, my budget I've kept 5,000, and if I say 50%, so the moment 2,500 rupees or 50% is very less, let's say 70%. So 3,500 has been spent. Though it's not covered by 5,000, still it will start sending the details. And this is the action group, which you will have to create and assign it. Or we can have individual email also. So it will start sending the email. You can have multiple email. You can have your DL also here. Right? Then actual. So this is how you can set it up. If you want to create a manage group, you can create it from here. Manage group is recommended because you can add people, remove people from there. You can give them some access, etc. Right? But here we don't require any manage group. I'm happy with direct email because I'm not planning to put any individual's email here. I'm planning to put my DL here. Let's say, So no matter if any person joins or he's there or not, this is a DL. All my team members, new and old, will have access to this and they will get the email. Right? So this is how you can create it. Simple. This is again one type of monitoring. It is monitoring for your data. It is monitoring for your resources. Got it, guys? We haven't yet uh, come to virtual machine, etc. But I'm showing you what all are there in monitoring. So when you understand monitoring, it's not only related to VM, it's mostly about cost as well. Then we have advisor. Advisor, it's also a part of monitoring. Advisor recommendation, what it does, it is again without your setting up the data, without your setting up the parameters. Azure himself itself is doing all this, and based on its monitoring, it is giving some recommendation. For example, what recommendation it has given? Let's see. Review the disks that are not attached to the VM. See, there are two disks, these two disks, and these are not attached to my VM. Hence, it is I'm unnecessarily paying amount for them. So this kind of alerts or advisory I get from them. I can delete them or I can move it somewhere. But in my case, I require them. Although I'm not, it is not attached to some VM, but I need them. Right? But if it is not needed, see, it also checks that as of September, it's no longer potential yearly saving. Fine. It also checks that if it is a VM, when is the last time it was turned on? When is the last time it communicated with some other VM? Or is it just lying in isolation? No one is using, no one logged in. It will start giving you some data like this. That there is a storage account, no one has accessed that in last 2 months. Right? Uh, would you like to review that? So it can just review it. Then, yeah, that's all we have in subscription monitoring. Any doubts, any questions, guys, here? If not, then we can go ahead with the monitoring, and you will see monitoring here also. Let it appear. See, these are the services which we have in Azure. Here it is. This is Azure Monitor. Under Azure Monitor, you'll see application inside, container inside, VM inside, network inside, right? Logs, workbook. Uh, and if you want to know more, you can come here and start reading about it. This page is more than enough for you to read. You can go to that particular resource like a virtual machine, go to left hand side and start monitoring from there. Or you come here under monitoring and start adding those machines. It's up to you. Got it? Is it clear, guys? So you can come here monitoring, or you can go to this machine and here you can set up monitoring. Okay. Now let's go ahead and see. We'll try VM alerts or insight. So we can set it up from here, or we can set it up from here. If I click here, see, it will tell me how to get started. You can watch videos as well. It is a good learning, guys. Please go ahead and watch these videos. Not very big videos, but very relevant and latest videos. That when will you use application gateway? How will you use application gateway? These are very useful. Hardly 2 minutes, 3 minutes, right? Metrics, etc. Because now even if I start, we will not get any data. It approximately takes 24 hours to scan the machine properly and then start giving it. Even if I go here inside, enable it, subscription, right? Data collection rule I'm setting up. So you can do it from here, or as I told you, you can do it from here as well. Please go ahead and at least watch these recordings, guys, these videos. Very small, hardly. This one is big, I think 13, 14 minutes. 14, and rest every thing is 4, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So it will hardly take 1 hour to complete all of this, but you'll get very fair idea. Okay, while this is done, do you guys have any questions, any doubts?
Not really, sir. This everything is very okay. It's just one has to just go through the notes and read and understand the concepts well.
Now, please go ahead and watch these
Mhm.
videos
Yeah,
rather than searching for YouTube videos. These are, I mean, again, these are YouTube videos, but searching then third-party videos, we have Microsoft videos. Just watch them, and you should be getting a fair idea before you start practicing. Watch them, right?
yeah.
So that's all we
So,
have, guys, for Azure monitoring. Nothing
uh,
much we have. I won't be able to show you all of these because deployment fail underlying API that might. Okay, I'll have to check this. Please list the
yeah.
deployment.
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
yes, tell me, Pam.
Yeah, please. I don't know if there's any way you could on because some videos in YouTube are not it shows that you feeding them. It's been
Yes,
hidden. So
those are the latest videos. Those are the latest
okay,
videos.
okay,
Eh.
okay. Okay, no problem.
I'll be sharing that with you guys one on one.
Okay.
I'll ping you on WhatsApp and I'll guide you how to access them.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thanks. Yeah,
Right, so guys, that's all I had for monitoring. Monitoring, even if I set it up now, we will not be able to see everything, language, or sorry, this query, etc. Whatever is possible, let's say I'll show it to you now. Let's say if I want to do it for CPU, right? Virtual machine. This is the virtual machine I'm talking about. Then average, right? I can add more metrics. Disk, CPU, see network. See, there are so many, right? You can have very granular level of can say monitoring. Now look at this. It has started showing the data. It is showing me average memory and it is showing me average CPU. Now CPU sometime will spike. Here if I log in to that machine and spiked it some, let me see if I can do that. If I spike the data of that CPU, you will literally see it here. And then post this, obviously you can share this data, alerts, etc. Everything we can set up. We will not cover that. I'm hoping that you guys do the practical, so you'll be able to do it. And even if you're not doing that, no one is asking you to do the practical of monitoring, but you should know the theory part at least, guys. So that's all we have, guys. I don't think so. We'll need third session today. We don't have any topic to be discussed. Uh, Talking about the resume and other things. Give me some time today. I'll just go through with your all of your resumes so I can guide you with this. Tomorrow we'll have one session, maybe one or two sessions, but nothing technical. We are done with the technical today. So here, if I have that software, I'll check. No, unfortunately, I don't have that software, which can increase the CPU. Last time, which we used, which is spikes the CPU utilization. Let me see if I can get one. No. But whenever these changes are there, right, if you find any changes, you will see those details here. It will, oh, if it is dropping or whatever is happening, you are going to see those changes here. And now these are only two we have put. We can start putting metrics, whatever you need here, related to RAM, disk, IOPS, etc., whatever you want. See, and you can start creating your graph. You can change this. You can, instead of line chart, you can have this one. You can have this, something like this. You can have grade. It's completely up to you, right? You want like this, you can have, you can export it, you can have bar chart. So say it is showing percentage CPU, right? You can save it, you can alert rule, you can create alert from here. Now this is taking for last 24 hours, but our machine is just created and we just set it up, so we are not going to see it properly. You can share it again, you can download it to Excel, you can copy the link, you can send it to workbook, right? You can pin it to Grafana is again a tool, you don't have to worry about it. So this is how you can guys play in your monitoring. Right? We're done with our technical topics. Any questions, any doubts anyone has, please feel free to ask, or we are happy to close today's session. I would request all of you to please send your resumes. A few of you have already sent, but maybe remaining of you can also send it to me. I'll go through that once. Tomorrow we'll have a session, maybe one or two, and there we are going to cover the Naukri portal, job portals, resume, what needs to be updated, how we have to do it. Today, unfortunately, I don't have your resume, so it's not a good idea to do it. Right? So let me read through it and then we are going to do it. We have 1 minute left, guys. Anyone has any questions, any doubt, please feel free to ask. Or if you
Okay,
guys
so
have more questions, we can have another session also. And if not, we can stop today's session now.
we should send your resume to the group platform, Abi, or where do we
WhatsApp,
send your resume?
WhatsApp is
WhatsApp. Okay,
yes.
WhatsApp. Okay, thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions, today we conclude our technical topics. See you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Before that, please share your resumes. Tomorrow we are going to see job portals update, story making, how to show your profile, generic one. Rest, I'll connect with you on individual level.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. I'll stop the session. We'll upload the recording tomorrow, not today. Okay, all.
Okay, thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye.
Yeah.